Hi, my name is Tara Kachaturoff, and I'm the host of Michigan Entrepreneur, where we feature businesses from startup to stellar. Today I have as my special guest Ron Elkus, who is a founder and co-owner of The Shirt Box. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I'm really excited to have you on the show today because we're going to talk all about your business and what you do and who you serve and what you've done throughout the years, because you are in the fashion industry. So, but before we get into that, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and what led up to starting this company?
Sure. I actually graduated from Michigan State University in '81, and actually was in a personnel degree, College of Business, and I got a job offer from Marshall Fields to work in Chicago doing personnel work, and I realized that my $10,000 income was not going to make it. So I had somebody who approached me and said, would you like to open up a store, a men's store, kind of the old haberdasher.
Right.
So I don't know if you're familiar with haberdasher. Most people of a certain age are not, and it's actually shirts and ties and sweaters. It's not suits. It's everything that goes with a suit. And I said, why not? So that was in September of '81 that I opened up, and it was a 600 square foot store in Southfield, and expanded 3 times and moved to a larger location where we're currently on Northwestern Highway in Farmington Hills.
And where are you located exactly?
Sure. We're on Northwestern Highway,
Okay.
between Middle Belt and 14 Mile Road.
Okay.
So we expanded, and we were able to, we were in a converted house in the old location. Now we're in one big location and in about 3,100 square feet. So it really is a lot more manageable and a lot more accessible too.
One of my questions I was going to ask you was, what does haberdashery mean? And I didn't realize it's all the accessories that go with the suit, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Or extra things. So would it include coats at all or not?
No.
No. Okay.
It's more like the accessories.
Okay, literally the ties,
Right.
the boutonnieres, anything like that.
Right, and we've expanded a little bit because now we carry sport coats and a little bit of outerwear, but it used to be just the anything that goes with a suit. And there's very few haberdashers around. There's very few independent men's store, or for that matter, retail store at all. But the haberdasher is like a thing of the past almost.
I know, and I think my only experience with it is actually on one of the Seinfeld episodes when they're actually in one of them, and there's a lot of things that go on in that particular store.
Right.
So this is really exciting. But why did you pick fashion? And I know you were thinking of Marshall Fields, and that would have been fantastic. I mean, being in Chicago, where the second fashion capital to New York, right?
Right.
You made a choice not to go there and stayed here. I'm sure that impacted some things that you did, but why did you not choose to maybe start something somewhere else? I mean, Michigan is your home base?
Yeah, Michigan is my home base. It's families here, communities here. I definitely feel like a part of the community, and I would have never been able to open up in Chicago. I would have never had the people who supported me financially, and not only financially, but my advisement from my father, my cousin. That was incredible what I got, from them.
Did you come from an entrepreneurial family? I mean, it's a big deal, I think, to come out of college and just basically start a company, start a business. I mean, that's a big jump.
Right. Well, actually, I did. Actually, if you Google it, my great uncle is the founder of the Zoot Suit, and he had 14 stores in the local area.
Oh my goodness.
And my cousin also has been a big entrepreneur. My 2 brothers own their own businesses too, and I have relatives in Cincinnati that also are in the men's business too. So I guess it's kind of in the family.
It's definitely in the DNA.
Yeah, it's definitely in the DNA.
Oh my goodness.
And the fashion part, it's funny, I worked in high school, like the old Hughes and Hatchers and other stores like that, and I always liked men's clothing. For me, it is fashion, but it's also me, the connection with people, and also the idea that every day is a different day. You're not doing the same thing. There's no way you're doing the same thing. You're interacting with different people all the time, and it's such a pleasure to have a spice of life, never monotonous, never the same thing. And so that part is the thing that really attracts me. Yeah, clothing is great. I do like to dress up. I actually prefer dressing other people up than myself. So I think that's like, it's like, I don't know what it is if I go to match up a shirt and tie with like my own, I need help. But if I'm doing somebody else, I can do it with no problem at all.
And I'm sure there must be that sense also that, as they say, clothes make the man. You are creating and helping people not only in their careers, this influences their self-esteem, where they go with their career. I mean, that's got to play a role in all of this. I mean, you've done some amazing things for people, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
the really nice thing, Tara, is that people come really for good things mostly. And there's a few, funerals, but for most people are coming for events,
right.
for work, for, to feel good about themselves.
Right.
So what a great thing to wake up every morning and to be able to help people out. And we actually specialize in that. That's really one of the things that we really do. We even have designed tables where people bring their suits and sport coats, and we literally take them on this table. It's like a edge, like a slanting type of thing, and we put shirts and ties with it because for a lot of people it's not their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And for us, that to me is my favorite thing to do. It's just, that's the creative energy in me, is to come up with outfits and kind of to think of that person either in their job that they're doing or the event that they're going to, or what their personality is like. And it's kind of fun to create things. And my favorite thing is, of course, is when people come back and like, oh, I got so many compliments on that. Or a man wearing a pink shirt, oh my God, I get so many compliments, and they're so hesitant about it. So it's great. It's really wonderful.
Yeah, and I think putting the colors together, I mean, that has never been a strong suit to me. It's not something that I can do well, but when I see things in a store, like I'll walk through the men's clothing area at Macy's or something with Ron, and it's like when I see something put together well, like I know it looks great, but I could never do it myself. I mean, it does.
And that's why, yeah.
It is a talent.
I think there's a lot of people out there like you too.
Like,
and
I don't get colors. I don't get what designs go with what.
That's why it's amazing. People come to the shirt box and they say, "Oh my God, do me,
right.
Hook me up."
Right, and it's not something. I mean, it's totally something I would want to outsource because it definitely isn't me.
We're the people.
Well, with being in men's clothing and all the extras that go along with it, how have you weathered this? I mean, you've been in this business 33 years, which is a long time. How do you keep up with things and keep relevant when we live in a time that changes so much? And I know maybe men's clothing doesn't change as much, but it does change season to season. It does change. I mean, you know that. How do you do it?
Yeah.
Because you can't stock everything, and you can't carry irrelevant, inventories.
Yeah, I always say that you can't be everything to everybody, but the biggest change for us was the movement from business dress to casual dress. When we first opened up, it was probably 90% shirts and ties and a little bit of sportswear. And it's probably now 70% sportswear to 30% shirts and ties. That's a big change. We're very, very lucky that we didn't carry suits, because suits are a tougher item to turn, and also they've slowed down. There's a big push now to go with suits, but still, if you look at most workplaces, it's more casual. You don't have to wear the shirt and tie for the most part. There's still,
some of them barely wear the shirt.
Right.
Or
and
the shoes.
Right. And that's been the biggest challenge, like in the 33 years, just to change over that.
Right.
And we're very lucky that we've been able to change over that. And I'd say the other biggest challenge is the internet competition. So, and that's a tough thing. That's,
Are people successful buying clothes on the internet? I've not done. I've tried to do that a couple times. It doesn't work for me, but.
Look at the big push for Trunk Club, things like that, where people just send you a whole trunk of clothes, and you have a stylist.
I hadn't heard about that one. I've heard
yeah.
about the tie clubs, the socks clubs,
Yeah.
the underwear clubs, Trunk Club.
Yeah.
Really? They just like ship a giant thing to you?
A giant, and you keep whatever you want, and then you
Shipping
just ship
crate.
it back. Yeah. And it's definitely, they're making it more and more convenient for you. But I also think what's missing is the personal interaction. The ma and pa operation, the kind of like knowing. We always say that we try to know everybody's name, and it's like a Cheers atmosphere. It's all about building relationships. And there, I think we have the advantage over other stores. So where the internet is probably one of our biggest challenges, we also feel like the relationship building of people, of acknowledging their names, acknowledging good things that are happening in their lives are our strongest point.
You know, I think there's so much value to having a business relationship that you enjoy, and that it's like visiting somebody and getting value on multiple levels, rather than I'm just going to buy, some things from Ron's store.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's a whole experience.
It is a whole
It's rather
experience.
than just a transaction.
I also compare it to, like, I try to shop and go to restaurants that are independently owned. I almost like to put like a chain, like chain stores, and then with a big circle and an X over it, because I really enjoy spending money. If I'm going to spend money, I'd rather spend it locally. I'd rather spend it with independent other retailers. I think that's really important to me.
And also, you're in the people business, and it's really the connection, and people who are caring about their clothes to that extent, I would think, value that kind of relationship too. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh,
they
for sure.
value that personal relationship, that face to face.
Right.
And I'll tell you, it's even more valuable nowadays because people don't do very much face to face.
They don't.
You can have that trunk delivered to your house.
Right.
I mean,
And I
that's
always,
scary.
we are price sensitive. Like we try not to be, less than retail. But I always say you can get it anywhere, whatever you want, you can get it lower. But I also feel like that we're very price sensitive. We're not gouging. We're not anything like that. We really try to be customer service, price sensitive, and always, we're always got things on sale. But it's just, we try to be that. We're not high end and we're not low end. We're somewhere in between.
So because I don't know how any of this all works. I do know that the fashions change every year. There's always a color of the year. By the way, is the color of the year for women, is that the same for men, or
No,
is there
typically
there's
it's
a
not.
different color of the year?
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know, like it would just be, something they'd see in the tie, that color. I didn't know how that worked. So there's always a men's and a women's track.
Yeah.
Okay, see how little I know about. But how do you go about identifying the things that you want to purchase for your store, given that you only have so much square feet? You have to pick certain things, and I know you can always order something for somebody, so you have to have something at least for showing purposes. Do you visit certain types of events or go to events, or are there? How do you find all this? Because I know nothing about your industry.
Sure. So what we typically
Seems like
do,
it's fun, but
it's fun. It's fun actually going
there are a
to
lot
the
of
show.
choices.
Right. It's fun going to the show. It's great picking out things. The hard part is writing the orders, because that's when you're
Right.
spending thousands and thousands of dollars. You're buying typically 9 months in advance. You have no idea what's going to be, what your inventory is going to be like. So it's really a challenge. We actually go to Chicago twice a year for a wonderful show that we deal with. We were going to Vegas, we were going to New York. It's just we find that Chicago, we can get the most done.
Now, is it just a men's? Is it just men's?
It's a men's show, but
Men's
actually
show.
at another level, there's a women's show too.
Okay.
But it's a whole showroom of clothing. And you get clothing, suits, sport coats, shirts, ties, underwear. You get from low end, you get from traditional, you get from high fashion, you get Italian, you get streetwear, you get urban wear. It's just, and you have to make that decision, what appeals to you. One of our biggest challenges is buying for our clientele. We're very proud of, at the Shirt Box that we service, we're very multi-ethnic, multi-racial, cultural, and we try to appeal to everybody in both employment, in terms of clothing, and it's probably one of our challenges, because I think that we probably are the most multi-ethnic store around. So we try to appeal not to the masses, but we try to think of our customers when we are buying. Oh, like that would look good on so and so, or that would be good on that. He would like that, or So we really do look for our customers when we go to buy. And it's definitely a challenge, but the challenge is writing those thousands of dollars orders. And
How many square feet do you have right now?
right now, 3,100 square feet.
3,100. That's
It's a nice size.
pretty,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
large. All on one floor?
all on one floor.
All on one floor. That's a lot of. A lot of square feet.
Yeah.
So when you write these orders, I mean, there's certain minimums, I assume, for some of these types of things. Are you purchasing things? Are they? I don't really know, like American, European. How do how are you sourcing these things? I mean,
So,
do you
yeah.
have like a European part of the store, European design, and then you got like more American wear? I mean, how does it all work?
I wish it was more American wear, but the choices are not out there. I mean, I think there was a study done like in 50 years ago.
Like
There was
90% are
right,
in
were made in the
Europe.
U.S., and now it's mostly brought from Asia.
In terms of design, though, is it mainly European?
Yeah, it's all. European.
Like design, when it comes to designers?
No, I think it's all, Asian. Designers American, but Asian.
Outsourced in Asia,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
mainly you're not using many like Italian or European designers.
No, very few Italian.
Okay.
Price, because price
Because of
becomes-
price.
Yeah. And it's even like one of our most expensive lines is St. Croix, and they're made in the U.S., and it's beautiful fabrics, and
They're made in the U.S.?
yeah, their sweaters
Wow.
are, and their pants are made in Italy, and their shirts are made in Italy. But it's a very pricey. It's definitely one of our high end, but beautiful, beautiful quality. We would love to purchase more things, and we do look for things that are made in USA. And it's interesting, Tara. What we also look for is local people. So, for instance, this tie that I'm wearing today is done by Dominic Pangborn,
Oh, good.
great graphic artist, right, locally. This is a woman that makes this boutonniere out of a tie, recycled ties. And we found her through a customer who was in Texas. She lives in Texas.
Oh my goodness.
So we
That's
carry
interesting.
cufflinks that are made locally, a customer that makes cufflinks. We carry these gloves that are made locally. We really try to find
that's
local.
neat.
Yeah, so as I'm saying that things
That's
are
really cool.
in
I like
Asia,
that.
but we really look for things that are made locally. And it's really a big part of our business. But yeah, it was just,
Can I ask you some things, because I know nothing about men's clothing,
Sure.
let alone women's clothing, but tie width and stuff.
So
why do ties change in width? I mean, it's just style, or I mean, what's the deal with
it's
the
style.
tie thing?
It's style. It's
Is
also
it
some,
just trying to change things up and get rid of the
Exactly.
monotony?
Right,
Okay.
exactly. I think that's the main reason
Okay.
for the whole difference between ties, and they do change, and then you feel, oh my God, I'm outdated, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, I got to go to the shirt box and get a new
Like
tie.
people
and-
can tell, like,
so,
hey, that
yeah.
tie looks. If you save them long enough, it could come
Right,
back.
it will,
right?
everything comes back.
It will
We always
cycle
say that.
around.
Right.
A question I had: what's the color of what were the predominant colors this year for men in terms of clothing? What was 2014?
So we're seeing a lot of browns, oranges, taupes, those shades, with a lot of accent, and also purples too for men. Men are wearing a lot of lavender purples. And
I
we're
love
seeing-
that color
Yeah, it's great.
for
And
men's
men,
shirts.
and I think men feel more comfortable in that color than say pink. Pink is a little bit more of a risk. Lavender purples are more definitely. Men are getting into that.
Regal.
Yeah.
What's the color? What's the color for next year, 2015?
For
men.
2015, so like for spring, we always like a lot of brights, a lot
Okay.
of brights. And also, what's interesting too is that
So right now, are you selling for spring, or what are you selling?
no,
for now?
we're selling
You're selling
fall,
for fall,
but we already bought for spring.
You already
So I don't
bought
know
for spring,
I don't
okay.
know yet for fall of 2015.
Okay, so for spring,
It's
you've already
a lot of brights, but it's also
Okay.
a lot of more solids. So not as many crazy patterns type
Okay.
of thing. We're not seeing as many things like that. So.
patterns like drive my eyes a little crazy when I see like patterned shirts for men, and then you got a tie on top of it, and it's like,
But that's a big thing in shirts and ties. Like that's doing a lot of patterns on patterns, and oh yeah, for sure. People are doing like plaid shirts and ties going matching is big. I was talking more sportswear wise. It's definitely not as crazy, stuff, and like I like to say the Coochie sweaters or whatever. So. Crazy like stuff like that. So,
what do you see like in innovation in this industry? What's innovating in your type of thing in terms of maybe software to run stores, or how you do things? What's something innovative that you're seeing in the industry and that maybe you're incorporating or planning to incorporate?
I definitely think everything that's going to be innovative is on the internet. And we never.
Do you sell anything on the internet?
We do. Actually, we do. We
Okay.
do. We sell. We have shirts 3 for $60 that we sell, and people drive to it. The funny part is that for whatever reason, if people Google like a crazy size, like a 24, 38, 39, they get to the shirt box. It's crazy. So I don't know what it is, but anything innovative like buying, it's really we were talking about like. Hands-on, like
Yeah.
with people, we're finding that less and less salespeople are on are coming to us. So a lot of times we have to buy online, and that's for me that's a challenge. Like you want to touch, you want to feel,
so
you want to look.
they're not calling on you guys as much.
Right.
I see.
So if we don't see them at the show, like I just bought, for instance, socks, and they used to be at the show, but financially it's less. They could do it online and color-wise. So I bought the socks online because they're great socks. But that to me is the big change.
Wow.
There's a whole. It's called New Order, where you can order everything online like that, and I don't love that.
I like
personally.
to touch fabrics.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, I have to touch things. So, I mean, no matter how fine I put the magnifying glass on something online, I have to feel it because I'm really sensitive. I don't like certain polyesters. Right. I don't like certain feels.
Yeah, I feel
that's
the same
interesting.
way.
Yeah.
So that's probably the biggest change in buying online. For us also.
Right. I mean, being that that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Not even having people like make the rounds or see you. Wow, that's interesting.
It's like the death of the salesman. Like for sure, there's
right.
few salesmen out there.
So you got to get to those. And when do they usually have? When are you usually going to these things? Twice a year.
Twice a year. So it's always whatever
Chicago?
the season you just finished up. So in other words, when we finish, we'll go in the end of January, beginning of February, because we just finished fall.
Okay.
So then we buy for fall. So it's good because it's fresh in our head. So it's typically 9 months, and we buy it for.
So do you buy by the quarter then? Are you buying for all 4 seasons?
We're buying for like 2 seasons,
about
basically.
2 seasons?
Yeah, at a time.
Which is basically Michigan anyway.
Right. It's true. It's true.
Summer 3 months, freezing 9 months. Adds to 12. That's interesting. Wow. So what has been one? I know you've talked about a couple challenges, but what's another challenge that maybe you've had in your business that you've overcome, just a real quick one that you've seen over the last 33 years, which I'm sure you've seen in all sorts of things, but what's a challenge you've had to deal with, maybe as of late, last 5 years?
Yeah, I definitely, for me, it's always the internet. I always think of the internet, and I think that we have been on the internet, so that's a good thing that we've been addressing that. But it's harder because we don't buy big quantities. Because we also one of the things that we like is we don't buy a lot, so people feel like they're not walking around with the same outfit.
Right.
It's not like going with the same shirt and tie combination. Going to a wedding and seeing the same person. Oh my God!
That's
like
my
I know
outfit.
for women, it's like the worst thing that could possibly happen.
And it happens.
Yeah, it does happen. It definitely happens. So for us, it's definitely buying.
The right quantities.
The right quantities, and also changing inventory, and also we prefer never to carry over anything. So we'll run great sales at the end of the season because we do not want to carry, because then it looks like it's old and then it just keeps on adding up. So we try to have as much fresh things as possible. So it's, you have to have enough traffic to warrant that, and that's probably our biggest challenge.
And what about on the success side? What's something that you're super excited about in terms of successes and things that you've done?
I feel like that part, I love being part of the community. So we have collected books, clothing, shoes, underwear, for all different agencies that we've supplied. We did a clothing closet for 5 years where we supplied people who were going back into the workforce, and we were very successful with that. We did a charity shirt auction where people made shirts out of things, artists, and they donated to their favorite charity. I feel giving back is our biggest success because that's what it's all about. We're able to be part of the community, whether it was the flood relief, we helped out people. Katrina, we helped out people when that came because we had people calling us up, Katrina. And with the flood, there was an organization that came in and helped. We gave money, we had donations set for that. We really try to be part of the community, and that's what I love about having the store. That's probably my biggest, I get all excited about that. It's all the community. It's giving back. And also we do seminars for people, how to dress for success.
Oh, wow, that's great.
For young men,
Yeah,
for college
that's fantastic.
students. I've gone up to University of Michigan State to talk how to prepare for an interview. So
oh my gosh, that's a great thing to do.
Yeah, so it's all.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's all.
Love that.
Yeah, it's all. I mean, there's a whole list of things that I have to tell you. That's where really, we're we're so part of the community. We are really, we're, you know.
That's one thing I have to say
back.
about a brick and mortar business. You can't get that anywhere else,
Right,
that
right.
face to face. It's so important. I mean, we can't all be on gadgets all day. It
Right.
just does not make for a
Right.
healthy person. And
Right.
it's not as fun. It's just not as fun as meeting somebody face to face and, oh my gosh, and doing things with clothing, because it just can change somebody's life.
Oh my God.
It can mean the difference between getting a job and not getting a job. It really makes a
I
difference.
just got a beautiful thank you note from an organization called Freedom House that we gave out suits to them, and they were like, you know, each wrote me a thank you note. It was just beautiful. It was really, I mean.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, to me, that's the best part of the shirt box. So.
You know, I've really loved learning about everything that you do. I mean, this has just been fascinating because I've never interviewed anybody doing quite what you're doing.
Oh,
So
you.
it's been so much fun to of course, meet you. I'd like to just ask you that one final question. I wish we could talk 30 more minutes, but that one final question for you. What's your advice to entrepreneurs? You have 33 years and many years behind you and many to go ahead. What's your advice?
I think one of the things I think is vital information, you have to get your customer name, address, email. Very important to email because email's free for the most part. And you can email your customer. So that's one thing. One is treating people the way you want to be treated. And it's amazing, that whole concept of that. It just, if I walk into a retail store and I'm not treated well, to me, it's so important just to be treated with dignity, with respect, friendliness. The other thing is knowing people's names, a cheers atmosphere, a friendly atmosphere, enjoying what you do, having a smile on your face. And also, when things are really, really good in terms of the economy, don't take advantage. Just remember, there are going to be some good times, there are going to be some bad times. Don't take advantage in the good times.
Really well said. Thank you, Ron Elkus of the
Thank you.
Shirt Box. I really appreciate you being a guest on our show.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you'd like more information about our program, please visit us at www.michiganentrepreneurtv.com. Please join me again in the future when I interview another enterprising entrepreneur. Until then, wishing you the best of business.